Okay, so you got this guy and you really like him, and he's just not as affectionate as you want him to be. Or maybe he was more affectionate in the past and he becomes less affectionate. You might have only gone on, dozen dates with him, or you might be in a relationship with this guy. But the fact is he's not giving you as much as affection as you want. What do you do? What do you say? I mean, you don't want him to think that you're needy. You don't want him to think that, you're just not able to take care of yourself and you need him to give you all of this affection. You don't want him to think that you're weak by feeling this neediness feeling for his affection. So what are you going to do? In this video, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. And you're going to do it, or you can do it, in a feminine way. In a way that is going to inspire him into wanting to give you more affection. Not to please you in a people-pleasing way. Not to do it so that you stop nagging him. Not to do it for any reason other than because he loves you. And because he wants to take care of you. And he wants you to feel special. This is what feminine communication does. This is the art of communicating in a feminine way that inspires a man. And what business do I have teaching you this? Well, I am a man, so I know what inspires a man. Specifically a man whose provider instinct, whose protector instinct is online. A man who is capable of leading a woman, who loves to lead a woman. This is the way that I teach my wife to communicate with me, in a way that inspires me to take care of her as much as possible. This is the way that I teach my women clients how to communicate with their man, or the men that they're attracting if they're single. And we see the kind of results that will blow most women's minds. It will answer these questions in a way that no one else is answering these questions, at least not right now. How to inspire a man into cherishing you, into taking care of you, into wanting to give you affection in a way that actually feels good for you to communicate. So I'm going to explain how to do that. First, we got to talk about neediness. Before we get into all these answers, we got to talk about what neediness is and a woman's perception of it and a man's perception of it. So feeling needy is not bad. Okay, it is not actually a problem. Many women and also men will judge it as weak and like an icky, needy woman. Don't want that. There's a difference between feeling needy and exhibiting needy behavior. Okay? Your feeling of neediness is beautiful. Every feeling that you have inside of you is beautiful. It doesn't matter if it's neediness or shame or anger, sadness, guilt, horniness, joy. Every feeling you have is beautiful. The problem that you have is that you will feel the neediness inside of you, which also might be tied in with anxiety and abandonment fears and all this stuff, but let's just stick to neediness. So it's like your need for him, your need for his affection, for his time, for his presence, for his care. You feel that neediness towards him. And then what do? Well, you do something that is typically a form of leading and putting yourself onto him, putting your feelings onto him. So you might kind of get clingy with him. You get into his space. Or maybe you start asking him a whole bunch of questions about why he's not giving you affection. Or maybe you start nagging, it's kind of these subtle judgments about why he's not giving you affection anymore. All of that behavior and other behaviors I haven't described, right? Just think about how you're needy and then what do you do when you're needy, or what you're compelled into, the behavior that you're kind of compelled to do. Whatever that behavior is probably repulsive to a man. I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. Okay? I'm here to love you and show you how to do this differently. But it will be repulsive what you are doing. Like it's repelling a man. Just like a man can often do behaviors that will be repulsive to you, you can do the same thing to a man. That does not make you repulsive as a woman. You as a woman are beautiful. Your feelings are beautiful. That's not the repulsive part. So don't internalize this and be like, I'm a repulsive person. No, you're a beautiful person and your heart is beautiful. Your feelings are beautiful. Your needs are beautiful. There's nothing intrinsically about you that is repulsive, including when you're feeling needy. It's just the external behaviors that you are exhibiting that are repulsive because you haven't been taught a different way to communicate your needs, to express your needs in a way that will actually inspire a man to care instead of repel him. That's it. That's not your fault. Nobody taught you before. So of course you're not going to know any better, okay? That's all there is to it. No one taught you this. You've been doing the absolute best that you know how up until now. And now you're just going to learn how to do better. That's it. So, and by the way, so my wife, she's not the needy type. Like, that is not the issue I've been working on with her. The issue I've been working with her is more like, get you feeling more, get you actually communicating more vulnerably instead of being like, she's got like guards around her heart. So I got to help her open those guards up, help her feel more safe. She's terrified, whether she admits it or not, she's terrified of exhibiting any kind of neediness, even when she feels it, because she doesn't want to be perceived as weak or needy or all of that stuff, okay? So that's a different issue. Might be doing a video on that at some point. But that is part of this, right? Because that's another way that women will actually deal with neediness that actually repels men. Now, it repels men in a different way, though. It's more just like, I don't feel connected to her when she does that. It's like, I want to actually feel her neediness. As crazy as that might sound, a masculine man, a healthy man, wants to feel a woman's neediness, the feeling of neediness, just not the behavior that's unhealthy that the feeling will often compel her into. So I'm helping her through that. But I've also dated many other women in my past who would exhibit those needy behaviors, the clinginess, kind of leading energy, the softened judgments, the questions when they want that affection, and they just deal with it in an unhealthy way. And yes, that did repel me. It absolutely did repel me. I didn't know how to lead back then, right? Like, if I knew what I knew now, when a woman would do that, I would just be like, hey, sweetheart, tell me what you're feeling. Are you feeling some neediness towards me? Oh, you are? Okay. When you're feeling needy, communicate this way instead. And again, we're going to be talking about what to do instead. But I would just lead her through that. And then, of course, it would be so simple for a woman. If you had a man that was doing that, you wouldn't need me to be teaching you this on YouTube. My academy students wouldn't be needing my help either, and my team's help. They would just be having a man who's leading them through all of this and telling them the truth. The problem is, men are not telling women the truth about what they are doing that's a problem. Or if they do tell them the truth, they're not doing it in a loving, kind way, and they're not giving them direction that's a solution for them to shift their behavior. They might just be getting criticism instead, and then you're just going to feel terrible about yourself. So it's the behavior that is repelling a man. It is not your feelings of neediness. Your feelings of neediness will compel you into the needy behavior itself, and you just don't know a better way of communicating the neediness. And part of the reason you don't know a better way of communicating the neediness is because you believe, and be honest with yourself, do a self-assessment, you believe that the neediness, the feeling of neediness, is repulsive. Now, consciously you might not believe that, especially if you've watched a lot of my videos and it's like, I love my feelings are okay now. But deeper down, unconsciously, because it's your behaviors that will tell you the truth of what you actually believe. And if you are not communicating your feelings of neediness vulnerably, then that means that on some level you believe that your feelings of neediness are repulsive. Have you ever told a man that you feel needy? If you haven't, that means you probably believe that your feelings of neediness are repulsive. And then, of course, if you have exhibited needy behavior towards a man and he responds badly, like I responded to so many women that I dated in the past, what's the message that you get? My neediness is repulsive. And even more than that, like if you're integrating these beliefs unconsciously, you haven't had me to guide you, you're also going to believe my needs are repulsive. My needs for affection, for love, for time, for consideration, they're all repulsive. That is not the right message. That is not true. I mean, possibly to a man who's just not a healthy man, he might find those repulsive. No even remotely healthy man would believe that your beautiful needs are repulsive. It's just the way that you're trying to get them met. That's it. So let's give you a better way. We'll talk about that in 1 second. First, I got to introduce myself. My name is Zach Brody. I am here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams, using your feminine energy and what I call feminine communication to inspire a man into cherishing you. If you've not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that below. Hit the notification bell and be sure to like this video because, of course, I'm going to make sure it's a good one for you. And if you would like help learning how to shift out of your unhealthy control patterns and into inspiring a man into taking care of you and cherishing you in a way that you deserve, go below this video, open up the description. You're going to see the link to my main website, relationshipofyourdreams.com. Be sure to click that. That has all of my offers on it, right? It's got my academy, it's got my dating course, it's got my Masterclass, it's got everything. And if you're not ready for any offers, that's okay. But go to the website anyway so that you can watch my free training on how to shift your unhealthy patterns, understand what your patterns are, and how to shift them using feminine communication. It's going to give you a lot of understanding that I don't necessarily talk about in all these YouTube videos because I'm talking more about certain problems. That'll help you, and then you'll also hear from some of my clients about how I've helped them as well. Okay, so what do you need to do here? How do you communicate your neediness? So understanding again that your neediness is beautiful. It's not a problem. You can share your neediness. You could say, may I please share what I'm feeling right now? And then he's going to ask why, and you can share like, I feel really needy. Or you can ask for help with that feeling of neediness. May I please have some help? I'm feeling a lot and I don't know what to do. And he's like, yeah, what's up? And you say, I feel really needy. Why is this so powerful? Because number one, remember that your neediness, your feeling of neediness is not a problem. It is not repulsive. Only the behaviors are. The behaviors of actually energetically leading a man in some way, energetically penetrating, putting those feelings onto him. When you open yourself, you're permissively asked for time, attention, care, help, whatever, and then you're sharing the feeling that you have. That's not putting those feelings onto a man. That's you being vulnerable. You're just showing what those feelings are. A man can choose to do whatever he wants with those feelings, but you're not putting those feelings onto him. And if he's even a remotely good man, well, he's going to see that feeling of neediness as beautiful. Why would a man not see your actual feeling? Like when you're feeling them, but you're not putting the feelings onto him, why would he not see that as beautiful? That you feel that need for him. That's a compliment. That's a beautiful compliment. Your neediness is sort of like horniness. Like horniness is going to be more physical for the intimacy in the bedroom, whereas your neediness is more like for the emotional, for the connection, for the time, for all of this, but it's essentially a very similar kind of feeling. Why would horniness be such a turn on, but neediness isn't? There is no difference except the way that you might be communicating that. It's a compliment in both respects, all right? So you're sharing that with him, and then of course he might be asking why, and you'll be sharing. I'm not going to go too much into that in this video. That goes more in depth with sharing what the problem is without making the problem him. You're sharing what the problem is, which is all about you, right? Like you need more care, you need more time, you need more affection, and you're not getting what you need. And when you do this cleanly, you're not putting that onto him in any kind of way. You're just expressing how you are being emotionally affected. So a man's going to feel good because you're being open and vulnerable. And then he's going to want, if you do this right, if your energy is right, if it's truly clean, you're not trying to get an outcome from him. You're not in that needy freak. Because here's the thing. You can share that neediness without being in that needy, like graspy kind of energy in the moment. You don't, if you're not owning the feeling, then you're going to be unconsciously grasping at him for his attention, for his time. And then he's going to feel that, and then it's not going to work. In fact, if you're trying to make it work, it's not going to work because then you're still trying to get that outcome. You're still in that masculine frequency, even if you're sharing feelings. You need to let that go. You need to open up and you need to do it fully for you. And that's when it's truly beautiful. Now a man hears and feels your feelings. He feels that connection to your heart and he's like, man, I don't want my woman to feel needy. What is it you need, baby? You need more affection for me? Okay, I'm going to put more time into, giving you kisses and stuff. I've had this conversation with my wife, but it was more on the flip side where she has a hard time expressing any kind of neediness, even in behavior, so she'd just be more closed. And, the conversation was basically about how she just wants me, well, totally understandably, she just wants me to initiate without her telling me that she's feeling anything, right? So that's a feminine instinct. Of course you want a man to just anticipate all your needs without you having to ask for anything. That's totally normal. The problem is when you don't communicate your needs, when a man is not stepping up in the way that you need, then you're not in your self-worth. You're also not in your self-worth when you're trying to get your needs met in a clingy way and you're not actually being honest with the actual feelings. So when you do this, you're not in your self-worth, and then a man's actually going to not be inspired to want to take care of you on the same level. Like a man giving you affection, assuming that if he's doing it for the right reasons, he's giving you affection just because he wants to feel that connection to you and he wants to give you his gift of his care, of his kisses, of his hugs, of his hand holding. He wants to make you feel special. And you're going to inspire that from a man when you are in your feminine energy and when you're in your feminine self-worth. It's just going to inspire a man naturally. He's going to want to give that to you. Now, early on in a relationship, like during the honeymoon phase, especially like that kind of first year, before you're married, all that stuff, but even earlier, like especially the first few months, hormones are raging, you guys are really hot and heavy for each other, you haven't gotten to that more stable place yet. A man will often, not all men, but a lot of men will be giving more affection early on, and then that will kind of dissipate, and then a woman will feel really bad, right? Like if you've been getting a lot of affection, then that disappears, you don't feel good about that. And there will be a reason that it disappears. It's because either you started shifting more into your masculine energy in some way, or you were never in it to begin with, but that it didn't matter as much early on because of the honeymoon period. But it's eventually always going to matter. So you being in any kind of masculine energy, assuming that you're with a somewhat masculine man, he's eventually going to start losing interest in giving affection. Something really interesting that happened to my wife and I, because this can be related, and then I'm going to finish up about what you can do and why this is so important to be communicating in this way. With my wife and I used to be very affectionate with her, but it was coming more from this boy place. Like I wasn't treating her like my mom. It's just like I wanted to be really affectionate for me, not really as a gift to give her. And then, because of a series of events that happened with our first son, when he was born, my masculine instinct came fully online. My instinct to provide, like want to provide and protect, first my son, but then also my wife, it came fully online. And I never felt anything like it before. And then all of a sudden, I didn't need to be affectionate with her for me anymore. And also, a lot of the things I was getting from her, like her groundedness, like I didn't need that because I became so much more grounded in my own masculine instinct. What I needed all of a sudden was her femininity, which I wasn't getting from her. And I needed to be able to give my affection to her. To want to give that, I needed to feel needed. This is a big thing. I needed to feel needed by her. I needed her to feel need for my affection. And I needed to be able to feel her need for my affection. And if I didn't feel it, then I just didn't really want to give it to her. Because a masculine man wants to give, whether it's his time, his energy, his money, his whatever, where it is actually needed. And also where it's appreciated. Very important as well, where a woman's going to be grateful for it. But if I can't feel her need, then I'm just not going to feel the desire to give affection. That's what ended up happening to us, where I used to give all this affection. All of a sudden my masculine instinct comes online. I actually feel way less interested in giving her affection now, even though my instinct to give it to her is way stronger. And it's because I wasn't, what I thought I needed before, I no longer needed, and then I needed her to need me, but I didn't feel that from her, and I had to actually coach her on how to open up and communicate that need in a beautiful, vulnerable way that naturally inspires me, because otherwise I would just continue to not want to do it. And one of the things she told me is like, yeah, I just want you to be able to do it, to give me affection without me having to say anything. And I'm like, yeah, like I totally get that. It's your feminine instinct. However, I need to actually feel that you want it. And right now your heart is closed. Even though you do want it, you're guarded around your heart because you feel a fear of being able to fully show your neediness, your need for me. And so that's one of the things that we've been working on, is helping her let go of that fear. And one of the ways that a woman is going to be able to do that, and one of the ways that I've been coaching my wife to do that, as well as my academy clients, is when you feel needy, you share it. You ask for help with it, right? Because what's more vulnerable than that? If you want to become embodied in your femininity, where you will be going towards is eventually where your heart is always down, like there's no guards around your heart whatsoever. And you don't even have to say that you feel needy. Your man's just going to be able to feel that neediness from you, but not in that emotionally clingy way. Just in that like desire for you, for his affection, for his time, for his love. And he'll want to give it to you because he just feels that need, even if you're not sharing it. Even if you're not verbally saying, hey, like I'm feeling all this neediness, may I have some help, or however you're sharing that with feminine communication. But to get to that point, for your heart to be fully down, the guards around your heart, the walls around your heart to be fully down all the time, and for you not to be exhibiting the needy behavior, that starts with using feminine communication. That's what's going to start knocking those walls down. It's like a battering ram. It's like, I got all these guards around my heart. It's closed off. I don't know how to just fully be. I don't know how to share my neediness. I don't know how to wear my heart around my sleeve. Well, start by using feminine communication and communicating what you're feeling in the moment and asking for help with your man so he can give it to you. I mean, it doesn't have to be your man. It can also be a man that you've just been dating for a little while. Also, using feminine communication with just men in general. Also, women. You might not be feeling neediness towards women or some random man or your father or whatever. Maybe you are, though, in a non-sexual way. If you do, then you share that too. Because ultimately, this feminine communication is for you. It is not to attract the man. It is not to inspire the man. It is not to connect the man's heart to your heart. It will do all of those things when you use feminine communication from the right energy, the right, beautiful, vulnerable energy. It will do that. But you can't be doing it for that purpose, because if you're doing it for that purpose, then you're in masculine energy and it's all a costume and it's not real. You have to do it for you. And that should be very liberating, right? That you get to be who you really are underneath these fears and everything for you. That is all I am teaching you ultimately. Yes, it is about attracting a man and inspiring him to cherish you, 100%. And that's good. What's going to attract women to my channel, to my work, and eventually into my academy. That's going to be the biggest thing. But what you're going to learn, if you haven't realized it already, is what's so much more important is for you to do this for you, because it feels so good for you to be connected to yourself in this way. The man just ends up like, I don't want to say like a cherry on top. It's so much more than a cherry on top, having a loving, devoted relationship. But the more important thing is that your relationship with yourself, that you love yourself in this kind of way, that you're able to fully be yourself with everybody, not just a man, but with everybody, that you have the self-worth to do that you realize on the deepest level that your needs matter, that your neediness is okay, that you're not going to hide yourself for anybody, that you're not going to risk rejection every day of your life, abandonment every day of your life, because the one thing you're not going to do is abandon your heart. And when you get to that place, even when you get anywhere close to that place of feminine embodiment, guess what? You're going to have the man. And if you've already got a man, then you're going to have a much more devoted man, because he's going to feel your self-worth and he's going to love it and he's going to want to add to it. And part of your self-worth, yeah, it's your neediness, because it's beautiful, like every other feeling that's a part of you. If you would like help learning how to make these shifts, if you would like help learning how to become the most feminine woman that you are, this is what we do in our academy program. We lead women through these shifts. You just take our hand and we will guide you into moving through all these fears, correct you when you make mistakes, make it as simple as possible for you. If you would like help, or you potentially like our help, if you'd like to learn more about whether it makes sense to work with us, go below this video, open up the description, go to relationshipyourdreams.com. That's the main link there. That's my main website. Watch the video, book a call with me. There's a link there on the main page to book a call with me. And what we will do is we will talk about what's going on in your love life, where you're stuck, where you're making mistakes, how you're actually in your masculine energy, what your fears are that are stopping you. You'll probably need a box of tissues. You'll probably cry. Not every time, but many women do cry on these calls. And even if you don't even join the program, if we decide it's not for you, it's at least going to be a huge shift for you, where you really start to realize why you're stuck, how you are your own worst enemy in getting what you truly want, which is a man's devotion, a man's cherishing. So we'll help figure that out for you. We'll give you a plan about what you need to do to shift. And if the academy is right, if working with us is right, then we can talk about that. You can ask me any questions you have about it, and then you can decide whether you'd like to work with us. And hopefully you will, and we'll help you create the relationship of your dreams. That's literally just a call away. It's your choice if you want to do this the really hard way. If you want to stay stuck completely, that's the worst choice. Or if you want to do the really hard and painful and long way, or if you want to make it so much easier on yourself. We'll get this done as quickly as possible. Get you your devoted man who's cherishing you every day for the rest of your life. And if that's you, I look forward to hearing from you on the call. I'll see you there. That's it for this one.